Greetings, viewers. Once more, we are back with the usual program that we are very familiar with, that is the Gambia we want. My name is Lamin Langkoma, and I'm here with two well-known guests, the erudite retired international civil servants, Mr. Larry Cisse on my right and Mr. Lamin Mane on my left. So we are back again to discuss some current affairs in politics and also to highlight some of the issues that we think is the concern of our party, that is UDP. So before I go any further, I'll just let the guests say hello to everybody else. Mr. Larry?
Good morning, good afternoon to the viewers and listeners of Echo TV International. We welcome back our colleague Lamino, who's been busy doing other things. Good to see you and good to have you back, Lamino.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Mane?
Good morning to our viewers, wherever you might be watching us from. Good morning, good afternoon, because we know that Echo TV is not just in the Gambia now, it's global. So wherever you're watching us from, we say thank you for receiving us in your homes. And we're glad to be here to discuss the country's issues with you in our program, The Gambia We Want. And very importantly, we welcome back our dear friend and brother, Lamino. So welcome back.
Thank you
we
very
missed
much.
You here.
Thank you very much.
Just Mamanding is left now. He'll be back too. So.
I know. You know, with UDP, you have so many assignments to be done.
Exactly.
So you get
as Larry would say, we've moved into a knowledge party.
In fact, that's why I say erudite, retired international civil servants, because it seems UDP is always raising the bar. In terms of political discourse, now is in all intellectual, beyond insults and things like that as far as the party is concerned. And when it comes to democratic processes also, you can see the latest process but that we are not discussing.
We don't respond to insults because it just shows the level of people who insult.
I know.
You insult when you have no issues to discuss. We don't insult. We let them go ahead with what they do, and we go ahead with trying to make the party understand and the country understand what's going on.
Exactly.
In terms of economic downfall.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
I always say when they lose the debate, they resort to insults and personal attacks.
Exactly.
They are losing the debate.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But now the threshold is something else with UDP. Today we have two main topics to discuss. One is the Auditor General forced removal and the message from the Global Goodwill Ambassador for the independence of Supreme Oversight Institutions. I think it's a UN.
It's actually not UN necessarily. It's a global organization which is affiliated to the UN, the EU, and all that, and other international financial institutions. And it's designed to keep an eye on supreme audit institutions to make sure that they function properly, to make sure that governments don't encroach on their independence like we have seen here.
Yeah, okay, it's not surprising. Then the second point is there is this investigative report submitted by the Republic on Mr. Amadou Sane, which is the president's nephew. About his transaction. So these are the two things. I'm not sure whether we'll have time to go into the local languages, but I'll just mention in Mandinka first, ko Mursa teke pulka kachalke, nimbadi malmin tiro ninka funyo, menka Larry Cisse aning Lamin Maneti. Banka memfono angale kanto wale mnyindiko nyumu molete doko ke internationally nila londo sita ritate setanang. No for menka manot ifon la personal jero, but kaitani UDP mu parties menti wolem nyinti londo leka tamaje ikawala na ikafemo foja akatara larin londo droneka yo
London in Tonya.
London in Tonya. So antol patiola ko bebe wala nyam. Bemenka jala bina yalo Auditor General fele constitutional ma allow pour moya bonde o nyama ni president. bari nata ye paral le kije ndena mana mo dunia dulat paral ki ngam is a common thing kan ngam KMC for nata bunda katije
Yes.
Ani bari ni mansa kunda sembo drong. Sembo diata nyule fatambe.
Wala na nimmo wulinga keloke be mbulle ya jamala wato wala to ko dege ndo wala kan ko ngolo wala kan du sonna wala
jalibala denjulo abeni sembo
Sembo.
so mo ko kachala nim fulanya fana journalist dole bi jate ka kulle kisikisi ka fa la paper ko di republic kisikis dole ke jang men tata ka me Amadou Sané amanke UDP Amadou Sané president barindi mal Amadou Sané wala transaction ko ay wala fo so ñing ku flol at least lafta nga wala kacha so mbokki wala fi tamit ñu ngi leena nuyu bu baax ba xawma da dinañ mëna exercice wolof bi waye liñ bëgga waxtaan tay moy xamna yépp yéeg nañ naka lañ démé jël auditor général bi ak paay ñu génné ko ci office am lolu mu sota xew fenn ci aduna si fakk constitution bi nangu ko tay nañ ci waxtaan ñaaral bi tamit amna ben waye bi nga xamné dafa am ay gestu ci mbiri ay transaction ci affaire ki ku ñëw Amadou Sané Amadou Sané bu jarbati
Amadou Sané UDP
Amadou Sané jarbati président bi so bu nga na ñëw waxtaan ci yoy len nga ngi am laari fi ak Mr Mani xawma na dina am time waaye suñ amun time tamit next time dañ ci so I start with you Mr Cissé on this audit general issue.
No, as you have said, thank you Lamin, as you have said, what we saw this week in terms of the removal of the Auditor General of the Gambia, internationally is unprecedented. You have not seen or heard any such thing in as far as I can recall in my adult professional life, where a government went with police officers to evict a sitting constitutionally appointed individual, removed him, and installed somebody there who, by all standards, has a very shady background in terms of his previous performance where he had worked. The unprecedented nature prompted the Right Honorable Helen Clark. Now, Helen Clark was the Prime Minister of New Zealand. I think she won about 3 or 4 elections as Prime Minister. And after her last term in New Zealand, she was appointed on UN Under Secretary General and concurrently administrator of the UNDP, United Nations Development Program, the development agency of the UN. Helen has shifted the UNDP's focus into governance, particularly accountability issues. And so it's not surprising that she issued a statement after seeing what was happening in our environment. She issued a statement on behalf of an institution called the Global Ambassador for the Independence of Supreme Audit Institutions. She is the Goodwill Ambassador for that. Mm-hmm. This is an institution that was set up by a group of institutions who are saying globally we need to keep an eye on Supreme Audit institutions to make sure that governments do not compromise them. And so Helen is the Goodwill Ambassador, and she travels all over the world, speaks truth to power when it comes to governance issues, when it comes to transparency issues, when it comes to accountability issues. So it's not surprising that Helen made a statement. Now, in order for me to be totally transparent with you, Helen was my boss at UNDP. That's the connection I have with her. And when I saw this statement of hers, it didn't surprise me, because I don't even know where she gets the time to keep abreast of all these things that are happening globally.
Well, it's part of her job.
And making sure that she doesn't blink when she's talking truth to power. The time she released this statement, she released another statement on what Israel is doing in the Palestinian in the Gaza Strip. So this is an individual who has a strong moral compass, who feels that governments have a particular responsibility to their people, so much so that those governments do not, like we have here, squander constitutionally instituted oversight institutions like the National Audit Office. I think I'll stop there.
What I want to add to that is her work is highly valued by the international community.
And respected.
Yeah, highly respected, highly held in very high esteem. And what this government should bear in mind is that documents from people like her and other people who are trying to hold the feet of governments to power, those reports are available to all the development partners, including development finance institutions. And these are the institutions which finance our development. And I bet by the end of this year, budget support would dwindle seriously. Because nobody wants to put your money in an institution or in a country which is flouting all the rules about oversight, about integrity, about transparency. If you walk into an Auditor General's office and you remove a manu militari because you don't like what he's doing, not that he was derelict in duty, not that he was corrupt, not that he performed below par, because the government itself said the reason they were promoting him is that he's competent.
Yeah.
So the issue of competence does not arise. The issue of integrity does not arise. They removed him, I said last week, as the French call it very nicely, coup de pied latéral ascensionnel. They give you a sidekick, ascensional sidekick. So when they kick you to the side by promoting you, so you get out of their way. So they want to get you out of the way, they promote you and kick you aside and put you in a place where you'll be useless. They put you in a garage. That's what they try to do to this gentleman. And the sad thing is that they blithely flouted all the constitutional rules. Section 158, 4 and 5 of our Constitution say that the Auditor General is appointed for 9 years and cannot be removed except for cause. Means he can only be removed if he was derelict in duty, if he performed something unethical, if he has become incapacitated or seriously ill and cannot perform. These are the cases where you can remove the Auditor General. Other than that, he's appointed for 9 years, and he serves the 9 years unless his retirement age comes before the end of the 9 years. Then he will go before. Otherwise, he's appointed for 9 years, and he is supposed to have security of tenure. So the Constitution clearly defines that. And this is the apex law of our country. And the President goes ahead and flouts that constitutional provision. And Parliament is mute about it. Parliament is an oversight institution. And Parliament is the primary beneficiary in the country, apart from the citizens, of course, is the primary beneficiary of the reports compiled by the Audit Office. Because they go to Parliament, and Parliament is supposed to pick them up and then take it forward. Where investigations are necessary, it compels government to do the investigations, to prosecute who needs to be prosecuted. Because, contrary to what the President said, audit reports are not opinions. These are factual documents which are produced following very scientific approaches. The auditors would come to your institution or your office or whatever, and they will take all the documents that are required for controls, and they will do their transparency checks and everything. They would go back to their office, write their report on their findings, and they will send it back to you to say, this is what we found in your office, in your institution. Here are the things that are against the laws, the Constitution, the laws of the country, the financial regulations, etc., especially financial regulations as well. They give you all of that. Say, here it is. Now you tell us whether we are wrong at any of these points. If we are wrong, give us your facts and this, so that we can rectify our report. So they give you that opportunity. If you finish doing that, you send it back to them. That's called the management response. If you can show them that they are mistaken in any part, they modify it. If you cannot prove to them that they were wrong, they maintain their findings and it's published. So this is a very fair report. They do their report, they give it to you, say, here it is, this is what we found in your office, tell us if we are wrong anywhere. If we were wrong, give us evidence that we are wrong and we'll change it. So it's extremely fair. So when they go ahead and publish the report, it's because they have done their work, they have got their findings, they've submitted it to you, you cannot counter anything, then they submit their report. So this is factual, it's not an opinion. Now, one of the reasons probably why they removed the Auditor General, since Karamba Toure left in 2020, only one audit report came out, the 2020 audit report. And that report had been done by Karamba's team. Yeah. The current Auditor General simply released it. And since he came to power in the audit office, no single audit report has been released. But now we are told that actually he has done the 2021 and 2022 audit reports and submitted them to the Ministry of Finance, to the President, and to National Assembly.
For certification. For
certification and release.
That's the requirement.
So they can publish it on their website. And they are still sitting in those offices. They have sat on them. The President has not released it. The Minister of Finance has not released it. The Parliament, which is supposed to be the oversight body of the executive, is sitting there. This is a co-equal branch of government. They are sitting on the report too, some complicity in there. And we are certain that the reason why they're not releasing that report is that it's very adverse to the government. Adverse findings in the report are why the reports are not released. Otherwise, they would have been too happy to release the reports. So you see what people are saying? We are corrupt, here it is, we are not corrupt, here's the audit report. But they can't release it. They can't release those reports because it must be adverse findings for them.
Must be.
So this is what we're looking at. But let them beware that everybody has seen this. The national institutions, the Gambians, and the international community, particularly the international finance community. And to crown it all, they now arrest some young people who have absolutely nothing to blame themselves for. Simply saying, you owe us an explanation. We recruited you to serve us at our, and now you are flaunting the rules of the country. We want explanations. And they arrest those young guys for nothing. They didn't do anything wrong. They were just protesting their constitutional right.
They were rough-handed.
They arrest them and charge them for unruly behavior and I think unauthorized assembly.
In fact, Lamin...
So we are just slipping back to the dictatorship and autocracy days of Yahya Jammeh. And we've got to check this. This government is going the wrong way in all aspects. But I leave it there for the moment.
In fact, Lamin, the way and the manner in which they arrested those young people reminds you of a government that operates like a thug.
Yeah.
You take 5 policemen who, by their uniform, appear to be new recruits. They pick up a young man, 5 of them, and just threw him in the back of a truck.
If something happens to that, what are you going to say?
They don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
There should be consequences.
And that is what Jammeh was doing. Now, personally, I went around the police stations. They were moving them like Jammeh used to move them. I went to Kotu Police, they have been moved. When? 2 hours or so ago. Where? We don't know. You go to Kairaba, they are not there. You go to Kololi police station, they are not there. So they start moving them around from one police station to another.
To make us lose track.
To make us lose track of these kids. And when Lamin says we need to fight, this is the injustice that we need to fight against, using the laws of the country. Gambians need to wake up to the fact that President Barrow has decided to use force on them so that he can break their will to protest against him. This is not an isolated decision. This is a decision by a president who revels into the use of force and power, so much so that he brags about it.
No, but the point is, who are the advisors? If this guy can just take the Ajami people and surround himself.
Exactly.
So what do you
exactly.
expect?
Yes.
But you see, the pattern is there.
Yeah, that's right.
The pattern is there. This was the same government
You know, it's,
that fired Bakari Jammeh from the central bank as governor. And for exactly the same pattern. They were trying to make him do things which he was refusing to do, and they wanted to show him force. They promoted him to the same ministry, as if coincidentally, same Ministry of Trade. They promoted him there. He said, no, I'm not going there. That's not my area. That's not my specialty. You're setting me up for failure. I want to stay where I am. And they fired him. And he also had a protected job.
Appointment, yeah.
So he also was supposed to have security of tenure, but same thing, they fired him, and he went to court and they wouldn't rule in his favor. And the guy has been denied his rights since then. They haven't even paid him the indemnities and allowances they're supposed to have paid him. And this is the same government too that went to break the office of KMC to install Senabu Martin.
the pattern is there.
So the pattern is there, the writing is on the wall.
The use of force.
Exactly, exactly. And I think this is so important that I think let's take a few minutes to say this in the local languages.
Okay.
Before we go, just one thing. You recall in 2023, on coffee time, I said to Gambians, watch out for Adama Barrow and his government, because by the end of his tenure as president, his corruption will make Yahya Jammeh's corruption look like child's play.
Yeah, yeah.
I've said that.
Yeah, yeah, and we all heard it.
And people heard it, maybe internalized it, maybe not, but we are getting there.
We're getting there.
He is going to make Yahya Jammeh's corruption look like child's play.
And this is why this man wanted to have the 2024 constitution, which would make him an imperial president, give him all the powers he likes to do what he wants, when he wants to, against who he wants.
He removed the clause about the Auditor General.
Exactly.
He removed it.
Yeah.
You know, that was not
About
part
the
of the
Auditor
whole
General,
thing. You know,
about the
so.
Inspector General of Police, about the Chief Justice, about the Governor Central. These are supposed to be secure tenures.
Unfortunately, they don't seem to learn. These things don't last.
They don't last. And if I can
But
just add to that,
the
this
damage
was
they
exactly
caused to the country.
Well,
Yeah.
later they'll be
the
accountable.
reputation and everything. But just to conclude from my part on that, this was the same government which, using the same tactics, fired Yakumba Jaite from being a National Assembly
nominated member.
So it's,
And that one went to court. Fortunately, that one went to court, and the courts adjudicated in favor of Yakumba Jaite. I hope that this time around, too, they will adjudicate in favor of Mr. Cisse, to have him back in the National Audit Office. And then they would have egg all over their face, because they've appointed somebody who they would have to remove.
the main guardrails of democracy is the justice and IEC. That's always they say that. But I think this is something so important. Nyanta for la local language, because
you know,
okay,
I think that's important.
All right, maybe nga that is Suruaka wala.
Yeah, okay. mbokk yi li ñu doon waxtaan léegi nii mooy ne nguur gi fi mu nekk ñu ngi ko sax ci njublan fan yi néew ci gannaaw la gars yi demoon ci National Audit Office forcé seen chief bi seen national auditor bi national audit naka lañ ko woote auditor general ñu génne ko ci office am fekk balaa loolu sax Barrow dafa toogoon ne daf ko tabax def ko minister of trade. Mr. Cisse ne ko man trade du suma spécialité du loolu laa jàng du loolu laa xam dama bëgg nga bàyyi ma fi ma nekk ñu ne déedéet nangu na ko soo dañ ko fa yóbbu waaye li xew mooy suñ constitution bi nga xam ne mooy sarta bi gën a kawe suñ sarta yi ci réew mi def ne kuñ tànn daf la auditor general juróom-ñeneenti at nga fay nekk fa auditor general kenn du la mën a dàq feeg defu loolu feeg yàquloo alali réew mi feeg njublanwuloo feeg feebaruloo nga xam ne mënuloo liggéeyati su yooyu amut kenn mënu laa dàq kenn mënu la faa jëlee te yow bu nanguwoo so juróom-ñeneenti at lañ lay jox bu ñu la defee auditor general juróom-ñeneenti at yooyu fa ngay liggéey xanaa day bu fekkee ne sa retirement age jot na waxtu bi nga retire su loolu ci réew di nga génn parce que loolu jotul da ngay toog juróom-ñeneenti at balaa ñu fay mën a indi keneen kii dafa gudd ñaari at lu mot completely ñu ñëw jëlee ko fa woo ko ministre ma ne dimbali leen ba bàyyi leen ma fii mooy lii laa jàng lii laa xam bu leen ma fa yóbbu ñu ne ko nañ la yóbbu nag neex la ndax nañ la yóbbu.
lu xew.
waaw parce que moo tax ñu yónnee ko police yi.
non li ma wax lu tax ngay forcé nit mu jógee fa.
mu ngoog lu tax ñu forcé ko.
waaw
mooy ne bi waa ji toogee 2020 audit report boobu Karamba Touré moo ko liggéey mu génnee ko moom liggéey na 2021 ak 2022. mu génnee audit report yooyu noonu yónnee ko président bi yónnee ko ministre of finance yónnee ko kuréelu député yi parlement mu yónnee leen ko ñoom ñëpp kenn ngaangu ci ñëpp a ngi ci toog soo waa ji xam naa liñ séntu woon ci moom parce que nañ fàttale ko ne bi Karamba Touré demee Karamba daf leen ne am na juróom-ñetti nit ñoo xam ne ñu ngi liggéey ak man fii ñaari député auditeurs général ak ñeneen directeur fi nekk yi nga xam ne mun nañoo jël suma place parce que li ma jàng lañ jàng li ma xam lañ xam mun nañ fee nekk ay auditeur général ñu ne ko déedéet ñu teggi ñu ñëpp dem jëlee Cissé feneen indi ko parce que ñoom dañ defee woon ne suñu indee Cissé teg ko fa dina def liñ bëgg.
maa dafa am mbokk si gars yi foofu.
yàlla xam waaye ñii duñ def rek am na lu ci nekk waaye ñu indi Cissé defe ne nañ da leen defal liñ bëgg.
soo yàlla li
li Karamba def ñoom gàcce lañ ci jëlee ak tur gu yàqu soo ñu ne xaaral ñu indi koo xam ne nañu defal liñ bëgg ñu indi Cissé yàlla muy buur def nag Cissé jub def li mu war a def génne audit report si loolu wane seen jublan igéen wane lañ salfaañe suñ luwaay jalgati lépp soo ñu mer ci bu ko foo génn boo ko faa génnee pour report yooyu bañ a génn moo tax ñu jëlee fa kii waaye mu ne leen man fii lii laa jàng lii laa xam bàyyi leen ma fi ñu ne ko daf fi nekk ñu génnee ko te li ci gën a bon dañ yónni police fu dem ci biir office am génnee ko fa par force yóbbu ko fi ñu ko xam yàlla xam mujjee ko bàyyi mu ngi dem court te nguur yi fa war a xam ne lim def noonu àdduna sépp gis nañ ko ñu ñooy liggéeyal national community bi doonoo si gis nañ ko development finance ñu ñoo lebal xaalis gis nañ ko àdduna sépp gis nañ ko te nañ xam ne fi léegi at buy jeex nii liñ daan am ci budget support dina néew lool parce que ñu daan dimbali ci xaalis ñu ko joxati parce que dañoo ne ñii lii njublam moo fi ba sax léegi.
so li ma jël ci sa wax bi mooy. am na ay jëfin ñi nekk si government. dañuy def de jéggi borders yi. frontières yi. du em just fii rek.
ci lu gaaw.
exactly so waaye dafa mel ni gars yi ñoom yëguñ loolu oo xamuñ ko or something. because
xamuñ ko wala faalewuñ ko.
waaw because fu mu nekk nii. dafa am benn jigéen bu am tour si àdduna si. bind na sax di complain si affaire yi lifin bi biñ def nii.
exactly kooku boose yaay laaree la xam naa dina ci am lim ci sànni. kooku bind na ci te kooku daal na si fa ko wóolu. jigéen ju jub la. koo xam ne dafay sàmm ak yelle fi doomi jàmbur doomi àdduna si di wax nguur yi daf leen li war lu ñu leen dënk ci alal leen ko luubal dugaleen ko fu mu war a duga mooy transparency bi ak accountability ak governance loolu yooyu liggéeyam mooy woon prime minister New Zealand right yes nekkaa na fa ñeneenti yoon jógee fa dem UNDP nekk boss ñoom laare so ñu bàyyi laare mu sànni ci ñaari kàddu rek after this we'll come to and then after
no yëfi man bi ma gisee Helen statement am surprise uma because xam naa ne loolu mooy liggéeyam te xam naa ne def dee jël liggéeyam seriously bam ñëwee UNDP moom moo tourné UNDP def ko UNDP ni mu mel tey mooy kuréelu UN boo xam ne la ñoom ñoo dee sampa sama development ci àddina si waaye ci seen mbiri governance structure bi itam UNDP yëfi transparency accountability good governance yëpp UNDP loolu la time yi Helen la UNDP gën a fes ci yooyu.
mooy daal ndoolingu dafa war a leer wala jub.
exactly
ñëpp xam naka la
yëfi loi rule of law. constitutionalism moom loolooy affaire am. te su waxee àddina si yëpp a ko dee dégg.
wax na de.
it's very important pour nit ñi xam ne li ngay def auditor général liñ def ci Sainabou Martin liñ def Yakumba Jaiteh it's all a pattern. pattern la boo xam ne la pattern la boo xam ne ñii respectuñ constitutionalism because soo respecté constitution di respect rule of law am na yoo xam ne doo ko def. lii it's that kind of a case.
te mooy ñi ñoo comme ni nga ko waxee rek ñi ñoo fi jëloon Yakumba Jaiteh mu nekkoon député appointed member ñu dàq ko te yoon joxu leen benn doole pour ñu def loolu ñu dàq ko mu dem court mu win kiisam. ñu jógee fi dàq Bakary Jammeh gouverneur central bank amuñ benn droit pour def loolu ndax ñu dàq ko moom itam comme niñ dàqee Cissé nii ñu ñoo toogoon fii daaji bureau KMC pour dugal fa Sainabou Martin yoon joxu leen ko doole boobu noonu ñu def
dafa mel ni lii moom daay
soo dañoo continuer mu ngoo gaa yi ngeen dem ñu fi Yaya Jammeh toogoon fa la ñu
agenda bi
mu ngoo moo tax waaw agenda foog ñu feesali ko de te moo tax fi ñu nekk Gambie si dañu war a xam loolu xam ne dañu war a sàmm suñu réew mi ko mu dañu delloo fi Yaya Jammeh fi ñu Yaya Jammeh bàyyi woon dañu never again
mu ngi jël suufi nii nii boobu tamit constitution bi alaaw ko
moo tax indi constitution 2024 constitution bu ko jox boobu am doole yow yéegi dayoo ñu ne ko doo ko fi amee so loolu la ñu jëflante
mbaadiŋolu men kacca kaŋ ñi waato kono e auditor général men bondala dow kuwo la bari ma bondi ku de ye polisol le kiya kama polisol ya escort ya fintindala ofso kono auditor général nak niate appoint i ka appoint le sanji konon
atila do ko mu dati
auditor atele ka mansa kunda konti bo
okay atele mu konti bo
tele mu konti bo lati niya kije aka loi ko sanji kononto ko sanji kononto kono fonatra kuranta ate do ko sambanola wallahi kuke me alon ka manyan na kala walla aman do ko nyinno nyin sabo dronne sabay no nyim mawbe itol fa ko nyala do ko lon wala ne ba kala minister akama lafi alafta ya tuabe dame ikay hani fo e finti fo eta now niko moye fo eta tumando wato be sobrin ko nye kula soto mallafa me finti banta sako men molem men kan kontibo yo nata a lom fananko kabrin karamba toure botaje alon tol katwo folan na platform mol tole ko nyi mansa kunda ila kontibo kaytolu kabrin baro gagneta 2021 hani biya mam finti to nyale mo mam finti bari nye audit le 2021 aye audit 2022 audit kaytol ning ibe Ministry of Finance and in National Assembly hani bi me fintin now loi wala fo ning auditor yake aki nyin dula floto ye kacha ye d'accord asi sign ay finti hani bi amam finti gambenol nyanta men nyinin kala wala mi dalila jumala atinna nyin sanji fulo 2021 2022 for sign 2023 2024 2025 fanam bina hani bi man sakunda man konti nimbe sirin kula kande
ande ga men karanje wala nyinti nin kuru ya te bala ibuka pare ka buje
yes
oto sai ndingo be kering nata wo to nyayata nyim bondo je do ko lem because I pare la ka buje
ha bari alon ka ofanam fole
so it's a big problem
ka ofanam fole
so Gambia on nyinto na jele
na mafo
akesam ba dictator ya silo la ka ya kamte be tama ka wala kan sila
hani manka ko
tama bor kan ka taji bor
ni wato Olympics be kering je
ti wole bije
yalon nene ngafo platform o coffee time ngafo je nko ning Adama Barrow bota president yal ya kontibo ala tinyaro
sa ta
wobe ya jamela tinyaro mulun la ko dindin tulum
aba mura
ya jame tinyaro menke moli ala tinyaro menke nyina tinyaro be o double la
sa
abe siala otile so gambe no la li pare
okay
so wala tin mo salon ko tilimbala ti kuru ngi banko kan abika takko fa kata nyatal dron so ni min tawte carte o fay ñiye isba ko sutla banko fonle katum banko kadum ko le ya nim bata min ko nin tilimbali anin tinyaro nin sunyaro sa kata yoro ke silote ya don ka fale ala yello de siratul mustaqim ka yul man to kan ko kare ko de siratul mustaqim la ibeka tambur abdou dala selati sa
la salatul fatiha suratul fatiha
butu wala ga ka wata ni do koyta abdou dala sele siyata ñu banko kan say ya ka fa abdou dinaro la jongol say abdou dala so la jongol wala siyata ñu banko kan say andu ñanta bor la jere ka to mu ko ro ti banko e
okay saying more time I think we can move to the next topic, which is the Republic's investigation into Mr. Amadou Sane of the President's nephew, his transactions with the bank. Who goes first?
Lamino, anil lamoy nal ni jiber lal. Yalo nyin dinde mo Mustafa Dabo. Ala doku onod.
Okay.
Ni ala reporto karang. Inya kayele le fifing. Ni aje ko inya kayele le fifing. Aka menu fintindi. Ika warule. Bare mbina manin ka count. Mbatu nga dati tuwa count. Angale count. The viewers and listeners of Echo TV, I think we need to, first of all, acknowledge the fantastic work that Mustafa Dabo and his magazine, The Republic, are doing in terms of exposing what we have always described as an entrenched systemic corruption in the government. This time around, he focused on the president's nephew, Mr. Amadou Sane.
UDP? Amadou Sane UDP?
No.
Oh, okay.
Allah tere. Not Amadou Sane UDP. It's Amadou Sane ala Adama Barrow. Amadou Sane is Barrow's nephew.
Okay.
She used to be a clerk in Barrow's real estate company, according to the article. Now he's, according to the article again, he's a multimillionaire in US dollars.
Oh, yeah?
How did that happen? Now, if you recall again, in 2023, UDP revealed that Megabank was sold.
Yes, long time ago. People were wondering.
We revealed that Megabank was sold.
Yeah.
They denied it. And then eventually,
They came out.
they came out to say, oh yes, it was sold.
But
The amount of money we said was sold for, they confirmed. The amount of the individuals that were involved in the sale at the time, they never released. But later on, it was found that a company that this Amadou is associated with bought Mega Bank. And in principle, buying a bank shouldn't be a big issue, so long as you follow accountability, transparency regimes. So, to cut a long story short, this Mr. Sane was given a loan by Mega Bank before it was sold. I think it was 600 million.
600 million.
He was given that loan. And then he was given another loan, 400 million, after the bank was sold, according to this article, for a total of 1 billion Gambian dollars. Now, Amadou Sane's previous company, JV General Trading, benefited from, again, UDP, we have said this. The governor of the central bank issued 10 companies. He gave them access to foreign exchange, $100 million worth of foreign exchange. This JV company was one of the 10 that benefited from the company. Now, after all of that, JV Trading is now trading under the name of Ecotra. Now, according to this investigative report, the government gave Amadou Sane's company 326.1 million Gambian dollars, and also another National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, another 326 million, for a total of 652.2 million. 652.2 million. Why did they give them these facilities? So they can import commodities, rice, oil, onions. And the rationale behind it.
That sounds familiar. We had
Yeah.
50 million
But
for the same purpose. It never worked out.
But even the 100 million, again, it was supposed to be used to bring in these foodstuffs so the prices can decrease.
But part of that was given to some people
Who are not even importing those goods. So the point is, that 100 million is there. This 652 million dollars is also there. And the prices have not come down. And then the government turns around and tells us the economy is growing at 5.7%. I don't know about anybody. I keep saying this.
Is the Makisala mathematics?
Well, it's voodoo economics.
Makisala economics.
If after having given $100 million to 10 companies to bring down prices, it hasn't happened. Then you give two entities another 652 million Gambian dollars, again for prices to decrease. And we are not seeing even a marginal decline in the prices of basic commodities. Basic commodities prices have been increasing exponentially. This is why we are saying this government needs to look at how it spends our money. And in our last edition here, we mentioned that the World Bank had cautioned them to say, watch out how you spend your resources and how you contract your loans, lest you derail your economy. This is where we are at now. Now, I will end with two other pieces of information from that article. During the mega bank saga, you know, the 400 million was given to Amadou Sane to start a business. 600 million was provided later on, and a total of 1 billion. That is clear. 1 billion Gambian dollars. In addition to that,
what special qualities does he have for him to be able to?
He's the president's nephew.
I see, okay. All right.
That's the quality he has.
Okay.
In addition to this 1 billion, the Republic reported that they have evidence to the effect that 100,000 metric tons of Japanese rice. You recall the rice that Japan gave us to be distributed to the poor.
Yeah.
That 100,000 metric tons was given to Amadou Sane alone. Meanwhile, Gambians go to bed hungry. Gambians hustle to make ends meet. So I'm going to cap by saying, UDP, we have said it before, again. This is something in Banike we said, in order to sum up Barrow's legacy in this country, you cannot discount 4 items. Item 1 is the incompetence of the government. Item 2 is the indifference of the government.
They don't care about the people.
They don't care about the people, they don't have empathy. It's a rat race, they are getting rich, the rest of us are getting poor. Corruption and impunity. Now, nothing epitomizes that corruption and impunity than to go and kick out an Auditor General from his office using the uniformed security people. And then the identity politics of it. President standing up and saying, I'm a Mandinka today, tomorrow I'm a Sarahule, the next day I'm a Fula.
And then I think one of the ministers gave a very serious profile of the kind of appointments they are doing.
Yeah.
That is serious.
Yeah,
you know,
and then a minister, a sitting minister in his cabinet says, we will spill blood for Barrow to remain in power. And then another minister went into a public domain to say, don't worry, this is a fuller government.
Yeah, point blank.
Whatever we do, it's fine.
Yeah.
So this is the legacy.
That's dangerous.
This is the legacy of President Barrow. And I'm going to conclude by saying UDP has laid all these things out over the last 4 years. It's like we are walking back in time. It's a time capsule that we are walking back on. And I'm saying, those of you who are still commenting on social media that Barrow is the best president, Barrow is the corruption Barrow is doing makes Jammeh's corruption look like child's play. And so now, what Gambians need to factor in their thought processes as we approach the 2026 presidential election is to understand that now more than ever, we need clear-eyed, patriotic leadership. Now more than ever, we need clear-eyed, patriotic leadership. If you are patriotic, you won't squander the country's resources this way. We need a leader that's not going to squander those resources. And who is that person? Hussein Dabo.
Yeah, integrity,
he's been in the public domain for 60 years.
Yeah.
Nobody has pointed a finger
now.
to him,
Absolutely.
against him to say, this is what he has done here, it's bad, it's against the law.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, clear-eyed, patriotic leadership is what this country needs. Now, you have a president who has advisors around him, some of whom were drumming drums in wrestling matches. Others were driving delivery trucks in New York, advising the president. What do you expect from a crowd like that?
Dancing, singing and dancing.
Singing and dancing, and that's exactly what they are doing. Meanwhile, the country is sinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. You want to say it in Wolof or Mandinka?
Yeah, but before I say it in Wolof, I just want to add a few things. As Larry said, these are things we've been warning the country about for years.
Yes, over 3 years ago.
And it's just unfolding gradually for people to see. As they say, when people tell you who they are, you better believe them. These guys have shown us who they are.
Yep.
All they care about is enriching themselves at the detriment of the Gambian people. They don't care for us. If we continue burying our heads in the sand and not looking at the reality and getting rid of this team of malfeasant government officials, we're going to get even into worse situations. Look, we are not inventing anything here. The audit reports have borne out every little thing we said. We told the country even before the whole thing happened that they were trying to sell Mega Bank.
They denied.
They denied it.
Later on.
And we told them they're going to sell it for a loss. Mega Bank was valued at least $2.5 billion. They sold Mega Bank for $900 million. And that was the same $900 million they bought Mega Bank for 9 years earlier.
So no appreciation in value?
No, exactly. The appreciation has been there,
sense.
but somebody walked away with that capital gain.
Yeah. At least with all the inflation coming.
Particularly when you talk of inflation and the depreciation of dollars.
Yeah.
They bought Mega Bank for $900 million in 2014. In 2023, they sold the same Mega Bank after having recapitalized it, developed it, and brought in more competent and good staff. They sold that same bank for the same $900 million.
A profitable bank at that.
Profitable bank.
Yeah.
Even the real estate it owns is more than $900 million. Yeah. So $900 million in 2014 is nowhere near $900 million in 2023. The dollar has depreciated considerably. So you've lost, even if just for that you've sold it at a loss. In addition to that, this bank has been recapitalized, has been enhanced, new branches built, ATMs, etc., and more performing staff. You have all of that. People offered well over $1 billion for this bank. It was turned down by Bakari Jammeh when he was governor of the central bank. Amadou Sane turned down something as well. And these people, Amadou Sane of UDP, they said, not Barrow's nephew.
I was going to ask you.
Exactly. Amadou Sane, the good one of UDP, turned down an offer to sell this bank at about $1 billion.
That was below the value.
Because it was below par. But they sold to the other Amadou Sane, I believe. They have to tell us because they said they don't know who bought it. But coincidentally, this gentleman was loaned almost $1 billion
by the same bank.
By the same bank, and that bank was sold for just under $1 billion. Would that not make you think that something is wrong here?
Of course, they must.
Until they can prove to us that this is not, they are presumed innocent. Until, there is a web of circumstantial evidence pointing towards this. This bank was where this man was. They gave him almost $1 billion in loan. The bank was sold for $900 million. The coincidence is awful. So we have something to look into here. It should be audited to show us who bought this bank. Where did the money come from? Why all of a sudden is this man solvent to the point of being loaned $1 billion? And Larry has just told us, reminded us rather, what Mustafa Davos wrote in his article, that 1,000 metric tons of Japanese rice was given to this gentleman. Now, and Mustafa said he has solid evidence to back that up. 1,000 metric tons of rice in the country at the cost of 2,300.
100,000 metric tons.
Sorry?
100,000 metric tons.
100,000?
Yeah. 100,000 metric tons.
You see, even 1,000 metric tons.
Yes.
Right?
It's something.
At 23, so $2,300 per bag, that is $46 million. So if you talk of 100,000, that is $46 billion we're talking about. $46 billion is given to one individual. For what?
I hope he paid it back, because normally they give it to you, sell it, you put it into the economy.
But it should not have been given to him at all.
At all, that's the
at least not to him alone.
No.
Just like the $50 million should not have been given to Amidou Dia alone. So if you have anybody in this country, you give rice coming from Japan, we probably will sold here, given to the government. If it's sold to the government, it might have been a gift. But if it's sold to the government, it probably was sold at about $1,000 per bag. So if you sell that, all of a sudden you become a billionaire. Not a millionaire, but a billionaire. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we getting a crop of Gambians looting our country and everything that we own here? Are Gambians going to really continue to support this sort of thing? Are we going to stand up and say, no, enough is enough, we're going to get rid of these people so that we take care of ourselves? The Gambia is getting poorer and poorer, and a small group of people are getting richer and richer.
Okay.
Why should that continue?
Let's come to the local language about this, because it's very important.
Yes.
Na local language to put more
Let me just do the synopsis of the Mandinka.
Yes, please go ahead.
Mbadi Mandinkol, aning lamerla kotengolu. Be Amadou Sane la kumole fokan. Amadou Sane nyama anke UDP la Amadou Sane Adama Barola Amadou Sane. Ka wala kumo feteng abarindingo la mi ko. Mustafa Swandi Dabo anala kaito e kafai republic wole Amadou Sane la kuo kiskisi. Ya jeko kodo men dita Amadou Sane la 2024 sanji serum ye million keme saba ni mwani woro diala pour ka mano oda bantabanko kanati Gambia National Food Security Processing Fanang ye million keme saba ni mwani woro di wofanan pour ka mano ni mfengol nati banko kan nim fulo ni la fanyo kan abe kala million keme woro million keme 652 million keme woro nin talul nim fula
Yes.
o million keme woro talul nim fulo pour ka mano nin jabo nin tulo nin na domor fengol tadala da tala ntemalon fo ntekiline kata marché to bari domor fengol da mantala yo o kola nene nga fo fananko central bank ye $1 million keme ye wole di company tan wo company tanol ñing Amadou Sané la company da be wol kono le wato wo company ñi ka fayne JV General ye men di la hanibi man sakunda ma fo mole killing bari bawo million kemele mu company tan mosa ahirka ko mo e million tan ne di la $1 bari ma fo mole now wo $1 million kemo fana yo fana ndi ñing company tangol la pour si fengol naati banko kan ni fengol naati banko kan pour fengol ñin da si tar
pour mo sa concern $1 million tango mu dala so million keme woro wula
ha
anin tan saba anin million tan saba ni million lu mu wolete
so saying ñing Amadou Sané la ñing company kuto JV General wo dabota kuol kono la sa ala company mu according to ñing kiskisiro ala company to mu Ecotralet sa ka business okay Ecotra tolel now ate Amadou Sané kilum president barindim ye central bank man sakunda ye ani ñi mega bank ngamere million keme nani le dial pour ay business start 400 million janibe mega bank wafi ye million keme nan dial after ye mega bank wafi ye million keme woro diala kotek
e woro folo diala
ye keme woro folo diala deni nata keme nano diala aketa $1 billion dollar system now wo $1 billion so wo ditala nyamen a ditala dalilo men kan wo man finti folo
anum faba
jokan ne maw fanallo mo samuta dronko bawo bank le de la be jokan bar faba jokan fata jokan mo mawlo wo kola nal hakilo bam japanese lien so manol metric ton wuli keme 100,000 metric tons.
That's a lot. It's almost 2 billion.
It's almost billion fula. 2
billion. 2 million. No, I'm trying to find out how many bags of rice.
A ton is 20 bags.
Yeah.
20 bags, yes.
Yeah.
So, mbatunga muta dronko 100,000 metric tons ye wole dial.
That's 2 million bags.
Yeah.
And about a million fula.
Ye wole dial. At a killing. A ditala dalilo men kam malon fo ya don tala le ban fo ya sola le ban fa ba jokan ne ban hani bi mawlo so wala nan again UDP wato men kale ko ibe nyim banku african yen so inata na finti iko ya wafi wato mbe ofolale nkali ne ko ya jammela adama baro be tinya nan adama baro be bolani siraw ko na be tinyaro menkela abe ya jammela tinyaro mulundi la ko dindim feya be wole konote nko bar adama baro's corruption will make ya jammes corruption look like child play be wole konote mbadandi la dame amuruta koteke sanji saba komanto mbadi Gambian ko lum kalien ne ko adama baro nabe bola nyin dulatu anin kunani lebe bolaji ku follow ala incompetence muneti imam menno ita ke no the incompetence is there ku fulanjam indifference muneti imam mo hati ye kungule hati amam bala fa sotonye nay bala fa sotonye denate sonna nyim banko la kodo katinya nyamen abe tinya la wanya buka kukije ku sabanjam mbate corruption kilin leka anin ka loi ka ke ban loi to corruption and impunity ay menke nyim auditor general la o manke loi anun corruption ole Now, nsa fono fanan kono ko. Adama Barrow, niaje 2020 constitutional laftala. National Audit Section on yewo bondi jail.
Attainment
nafe 2020. 2024. 2024. Ye National Audit mume o da bondi jail. So ye tole fem ke mote mutala kula je. Because among tara luat.
In fact, near sort of 1 minute, Korea killing. Now even anti-corruption below.
It's the same.
Up to below at 2023 sankon. So come 2017, for 2023. You kukurunke moto kisikira moto nyine kala.
That doesn't work out.
Anyway, sorry, but that's important.
No, but what important nani jang. Wala munyen si faram fansin doti. Anin kan damawol kumutaki nyola. Yalong nga mellong nyaton kayal. Hani korratio, alkalo, almamo, ika mol nyati lindi nyola. Ye nyomoy. Nyinkam kumule taki nyola. Ndes kunun sita kabiri nga nyi republic la nyimfonko karang sita nko. Niaje nyimben kumutaki la nyola. Faka foko ntele nga sembo soto ya jameti. Economic bembulle. Ala minister lota ako mpareta ka yelo bon Adama Barrow pour ay tu nyim place ala minister do lota ako nyimu fula bank fula mansa kundal alkana sila niaje o bebe fola aben kumule takindi kan nyola nayen kum takindi nyola itol be nyinti nyaro men na woy continue ntol dama be nyo butelambe nyo fal
ala ministre wala fo kodi ala fon fin de la ko ala mode kana sila
Yes.
ntole mansa kundat ni me ko ke mbal fasal
Okay.
So while at ben kungul takindi la nyola, and this is an important point. Iben kung yeje dauda tin mansa kunda be tinyaro la dunia dauda asatara isoksitale ka banku dingul kungul takindi nyola. Ni kungul takindi nyola, it will be tinyaro men na way continue.
Okay.
This is important. Walatin mba kumfala menna. Nsulata president lem. Me a lonko akoy tama fer ko bankola interest abe wala tamandil. Bankola interest aba tamandila tonyalaka. Bankola interest aba tamandila lualaka. Bankola interest aba tamandila hinante yalako.
Okay.
Usen les woke no nyebi. Nyim molte.
Wrap up now because we have little time.
Jerejef Lameno, ñu ma bamtuwaat di la doon wax ni ci làkki Kocc liñ doon wax mooy ne nguur gi liñ fi yaagoon di wax moo fi sës bi tey njublan luubal def li leen neex sàmm seen bopp doomi Gambien seen yoon bokk nekku ci jarbaati président bi ñoo ooyee Amadou Sané Amadou Sané UDP de jarbaati président loolu na wóor na seet na leer jarbaati président bi Amadou Sané ki nga xam ne doon liggéey ci Majum Estate nekk fa Clark tey kooku moo nekk billionaire ci réew mi.
In dollars?
li dina óor dara si moom at least
million, yeah.
waaye soo seetee li ñoo gis bi muy jeexee danga xam fan la ku xam mun na am dollars sax parce que waa ji Moustapha Kiyé Dabo ak paper bi ñoo ooy Republic dañ génnee benn kayit ne waa ji Mega Bank daf ko lebal juróom-benni téeméeri millions yi dalasi.
600 millions.
waaw juróom-benni téeméeri millions yi dalasi. yaagut ñu lebalaat ko ñeneenti téeméeri millions yi dalasi mooy benn billions yi dalasi mooy junne yi millions yi dalasi lañ ko lebal ci benn banque pour kenn rek moom lan la yelloo bi ñu ko mën a lebal loolu moom kenn rek te keneen ku fa demoon léegi nga ne ko dama bëgg a leb xaalis ñu ne ana loo fee tayle moom lan la am lu tollu 1 billion lu mu tayle naka la ngay 1 billion dala si lu bor ci banque moom li mooy tayle mooy turam may jarbaati président bi
wala président bi la tayle foofu.
ñu jox ko loolu waaye li gën a yéemu ci affaire bi mooy moom dañ ko lebal junne yi millions yi dalasi waaye ci waxtu boobu lañ jaayaat banque bi tam jaay ko juróom-ñeneenti téeméeri millions loolu xel tey na ci de ñu jaay banque bi juróom-ñeneenti téeméeri millions kii ñu lebal ko junne yi millions mu jënd banque bi parce que loolu lañ foog ñun parce que bu ñu laajee ministre of finance mu ne xamul kan noo ko jënd. ñu ne ko noo ko jaayee woon boo xamul kan na ko jënd koo ko jaay soo yooyu banque yi waaye emul ci loolu waa ji ñu ne nguur gi jox na ko téeméeri junne yi tonne ceeb maalo pour mu jaay ko.
bi ñu Japan may.
moom naka lañ dafay may ko jox ko moom kenn téeméeri junne yi tonne yi maalo xanaa moom daka nekk ci réew mi keneen ne ko fi téeméeri junne yi tonne yi maalo boo ko jaayee ñaari junne ak ñetti téeméer nga xam ne maalo bi gën a am yomb ci réew mi lañ koo jaayee tey boo ko jaayee loolu rek ñaari junne ak ñetti téeméer yaa ngi ci am ñeneenti billion mooy maanaam ñeneenti junne yi million ak juróom-benni téeméeri million ñeneenti junne yi million nga côté million bi junne ñeneenti junne yi millions yi dalasi ak juróom-benni téeméeri million dalasi loolu nga ciy am kooku suñ ko lebaloon sa.
ñaari millions yi saaku maalo that means Gambia ku nekk mun naa am saaku maalo.
waaw mu ngoog ñun ñaari lu mun nga ñëw ku nekk am million.
ku nekk am saaku maalo yi doon.
waaye boo seetee ku mel noonu suñ ko lebaloon sa parce que ñooñu suñu doon jaay sax ñu ko jaayee lu ëpp junne dalasi waaye dañu ko may. moom mu jaay ko ñaata la jox nguur gi ak kan la ko jox ci nguur gi fan la dugga moom ñaata la desee.
dañ ko jaay sax
xam naa ne lu mu néew genn wàll gi dina ko féetu. waaye li la gën a alifir mooy Moustapha Dabo dañ ko xamee liggéey gu set liggéey goo xam ne ci li mooy sukkandiku dafay wóor te wér. bu nañu lebal nañ jox nañ ko junney téeméeri téeméeri junney lifin téeméeri junney tonne nañ ko mën a óolu te bu fekkee ne loolu la war nañ ñoo wax fan la xaalis boobu dugga ñaata la ci am fan la dugga ñaata la jox nguur gi moom ñaata la dese ak liñ ko lebal ci Mega Bank fan la xaalis bi dugga ndax mu ngi koo fee am déet parce que liñ war a fàttaliku itam mooy Mega Bank banque la boo xam ne dafa daanu woon nguur gi jënd ko juróom-ñeneenti téeméeri millions dalasi ko nguur gi jënde central government def ci juróom-benni téeméeri millions dalasi central bank def ci ñetti téeméeri millions yi dalasi mooy juróom-ñeneenti téeméeri millions yi dalasi boobu 2014 la woon ñu jël banque bi liggéeyaat ko defal ko ba mu baax jël staff yu gaaw ñu dugg ci ñu jeexal loolu juróom-ñeneenti at ci kanam ñu jaayaat banque bi jëndoon juróom-ñeneenti téeméeri million jaayaat ko di seen juróom-ñeneenti téeméeri million dalasi te banque boobu ñu ko doon jaay lu mu néew mut na 2.5 billion dalasi so maanaam am nañ ku ñu may 1.6 billion dalasi
ci dara.
njublam boo nekk ci réew mi moo tax ñu ne doomi réew yi fi mu nekk xool leen waaw junju doy na borom xel li ngeen a wax nii war na tax ngeen xalaat ne fi ñu toll dañu war a jeexal ak nguur gi parce que duñ mun a jubati njublam bi doy na nañ leen jëlee fii sànni karta ñeneen ñuy UDP ak ñi leen ñu ñoo liggéeyal ñu génnee leen fi indi nguur gu ees parce que ñii duñ mën a defati dara ci réew mi amuñ éene bi amuñ sañ-sañ bi amuñ xam-xam bi.
ok.
dañ leen def li war ci ñun.
jërëjëf thank you very much fu mu nekk nii we've run out of time I think we'll stop here till next time. Memol be tendula ñu ngi nuyu ñëpp. On a programme bi interesting na torop nañ continuer wa inshallah. Memol kon tendula baka la baraka lari ning Mr. Mane kwale akumfanya men sai mol nyanta lon nako kabin chuku UDP be dula kilina katwanya fo mole mone be kering. Bania fo sa fo ko kebale akododale kebale that means ibita funding ke ning sembolo lo ngame. Bari
funding ke o fele da be menke ka
no mbado yale ka fo sembudo ko bari fo president ya lafta timpol laba nteka wala yin ka fo lafta timpol la membi ta nya kunkudo ko you want somebody with integrity, somebody honest, somebody intellectual. Londo le ka banko samba. If you don't have it, London in Tiliwa. Ni mo soto banku menkandro is finished. Malla fi timpo do ko lala malla fi fenna al londo tio dina ben tilinda anu ngajelo ko UDP o ma mo si fale soto menketa lo ya daboti. Amanke ko politique diamuti. Nye elo sota life sanji tawora bije ya findi na man soto je. So Allah baraka, thank you very much viewers, till next time. Thank you.